what's up? We got Arrow, Season 5, Episode 20, Underneath. So this episode starts off with one of the most boring episodes ever, with Felicity and Oliver, start with Felicity and Oliver underground in the lair, but all the power has been cut off. Because remember the last episode, Prometheus, or Agent Chase, blew up the lair and basically caused it to be, and now all they have is purple lights. But do you know how we get with this boringness? With Oliver and Felicity flashbacks. Like, that's what we need. We need this boringness to be cut out by Oliver and Felicity flashbacks that we also don't need. That's their way of cutting out the boringness of this episode, giving us what we don't need. Us Oliver and Felicity fans love them, but why do we need a whole episode dedicated to them, but in flashback form? Why do we need that? like that's the whole point of the episode. It's just like, oh, let's Oliver and Felicity are trapped in the bunker. We'll just show before, a year before that. I'm guessing they caught Warren Zygo off screen. They caught Warren Zygo off screen, guys. But anyway, so yeah, Oliver and Felicity are trapped in the bunker, and they basically show each other clip shows to pass the time. Why was this episode needed? It's a bore fest. I'm usually happy when I review an episode, even though it's bad. Even though it's good and bad. But this episode is just boring. It has nothing to do with the story. They do mention I think the Diggle and Lila stuff are more interesting because it mentions stuff from the last episode. But this is one of the most boring episodes of Arrow I have ever watched. And I gotta say, and I usually don't find Arrow episodes boring. They're usually between bad, like Season 4, that fever dream we all had, and Season 5, which is really good, but they really had to put a bottle episode in the mix of the goodness. It's just like you're getting really good with the Agent Chase stuff, and what do you need? A whole bottle episode about how Felicity and Oliver are trapped down in the bunker. Why did we need this? Why did we need this episode? But anyway, Oliver and Felicity are trapped in the bunker, basically telling each other clip show stories about their past adventures. Why do we need this episode? Why is a bottle episode basically the one thing they could have chosen? They could just have them explore the screen and be fine this episode, but they do a whole episode about them being trapped in the bunker. Well, meanwhile, except now that Renee, last episode I forgot to mention in that review that Renee was able to see his daughter, which was very cute for Renee moments. And I like how even his daughter, he was like, hey Zoe, this is his daughter, this is his best. The guy helped him, Quentin Lance, or as he calls him, Haas. And she's like, thank you, Haas. I already love Zoe as a character, and she only appears in one episode besides the flashbacks. But anyway, yeah, so Oliver and Diggle and Lila are having marital troubles because that's what else do we need. I don't know why this episode's a thing, but it is. And because the last episode about Diggle, and then the gang, and Curtis and the gang is like, the power in the lair is shut off. The power is shut off because Curtis couldn't access the lair. So he's like, I guess the power's off. So he's like, I don't know why my eye gets shut out in these reviews. Don't know why my eye. So anyway, back from that, they decided to. They're like, we heard some Lila and Diggle screaming, and she's like, and Lila's like, hey, isn't you and Team Arrow play Judge, Jury, and Executioner? And he's like, don't compare Team Arrow to the way you're doing. Yeah. I'm almost finished Doctor Season 3. And then, I only have 2 more episodes left, and then the recap's coming. And I'm excited to have David. And I'm excited to mention David Ramsey as Anton Briggs in my Dexter recap review. My recap's coming soon, and I hope you guys enjoy it because I'm enjoying the Dexter recap. Fun. it gets a lot of views, So I had to re-upload the season 2 review after the last one got a lot of popularity review. But I just wanted to re-upload it. And also, because the last video got deleted, I had to re-upload it. Not deleted, but I lost the footage from the last video. So I had to re-upload it, but I just didn't want to, so I decided to re-upload the entire video and delete the previous one. But anyway, back to the whole Dexter thing. We have to talk about, I'm just trying to not talk about this episode because it's just so not that fun. So, yeah. So they have to get Felicity and Oliver out of the bunker while, so Felicity's like, hey, I trust you, I support you. It's just like, I'm glad they're saying that because I completely forgot about last season when Felicity said she didn't trust him at all. Remember that, how White Child Felicity was the pain of Arrow season 4, and now season 5 Felicity is the greatness of season 5. Remember that. Remember that. I'm just, yeah. So they decided to get Oliver, despite their troubles, they decided to get Oliver and Felicity out of the bunker, and boom, get them out of the bunker. So Oliver and Felicity get out of the bunker and strap on. So they're able to dig in to them and save Oliver and Felicity out of there. And Felicity said last episode how Oliver's, once Oliver gets over, he's gonna see that how Helix is a good thing. And Mama like, Felicity, last episode I was like, Felicity, you don't know Oliver that well, because how could Oliver understand what you're doing with Helix? But but then at the end of the episode, we see Prometheus. We see Adrian Chase show up at William's butt, and he's like, hey, William, and she's like, no, his name's Matthew, and he's like, do you know his mom? He's like, no, but I know your dad. So, yeah. Besides that ending being a good ending, this episode was terrible. It was boring, and I absolutely didn't like it that much. Like, who would sit there and be like, ooh, Oliver Felicity in the bunker? This is a great episode. Like, who would want to watch that? I wouldn't want to watch someone straight in a bunker for like a day or two. I would be like, please save these people because they're trapped in a bunker or trapped in an arrow cave for like, I don't know why they call it the bunker now. I don't know what's called the arrow cave now. It's just randomly called the bunker. They were trapped in an arrow cave. I don't want to watch someone do that. And this episode basically, and the whole Oliver and Felicity flashback thing about how Oliver and Felicity dated when they were kissed when they were broken up, and then they slept together on the floor. Who would want to watch that? I had to watch it for the review because I stand my audience, and I love my audience. My audience is amazing, and I love the subscriber, and I love everyone. But I wouldn't put them through this episode because I'm only doing this episode as a reviewer because it's just so boring. It's just so boring. It's an interesting part where Chase approaches William. It's like, what does Chase want with William? But other than that, it's a boring Arrow episode, and I wouldn't put you through it. So that's it for the video. I'll see you next time for more Arrow. Hopefully next episode is way better than this one. Hopefully it has some interesting fight scenes and cool Arrow action, because this episode is a sleep fest. I will be taking a nap. Not really, but I will take a nap to escape this episode. But yeah, not really now. I'm not falling asleep. I have a Supergirl review to get through. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more Arrow. Hopefully next Arrow episode is way better than Sporefest. is an interesting part where Chase approaches William. It's like, what does Chase want with William? But other than that, it's a boring Arrow episode, and I wouldn't put you through it. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time for more Arrow. Hopefully next episode is way better than this one. Hopefully it has some interesting fight scenes and some cool Arrow action, because this episode is a sleep fest. I will be taking a nap. Not really, but I will take a nap to escape this episode. But yeah, not really now. I'm not falling asleep. I have a Supergirl review to get through. But anyway, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for more Arrow. Hopefully next Arrow episode is way better than Sporefest.